Hey folks, what do you have reviews down under back here again? I've been MIA for a few weeks. I had a little trip to NZ to visit some family over there. Got back about a week ago, so yeah, just got some reviews to catch up on now. Got some new units in. I've got the new SuperTFZ Queen. I've got some modified Venus tips on these at the moment. As you can kind of tell there, it doesn't have a detachable cable, but yeah, I found it to be a pretty fun IM. It's got a great bass response, very much I think it's quite a bass head type IM, so any bass heads out there looking for a nice bassy IM, I think they were about $15 or so roughly, if I can recall. They've got a 10mm driver with 32 ohms impedance, and frequency response of 20 kilohertz. They're pretty easy to drive. They're the latest of the line of out from SuperTFZ. They're a pretty fun IM. I found them pretty good with genres like drum and bass and dubstep, hip hop. With that bassy signature, they play those genres pretty well. Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna impress a lot of bass heads that are looking for a new bassy IM, especially if you're looking for something in the budget range. They're about $15-20 I think on AliExpress. I've also got a few earbuds, since I haven't reviewed any earbuds yet, so I thought I'd get a few just to make things a little more interesting. Here I've got the Faaeal Snowless 1.0, which has a 15.4mm driver and has a 64 ohm impedance and 106 dB of sensitivity. Being 64 ohms, they may be just slightly harder to drive, like if you're trying to drive them off your phone. I've been using the BTR3K and the X-Duo XP2 Balanced, which they both have more than enough power to drive pretty much any IMs, any earbuds that I currently own. And I've also got here the new MDR from QKZ, which has a 16mm driver, and it is a 32 ohm impedance, and it's pretty easy to drive. It's got a pretty nice bass response. It does tend to be just a little thin in the upper mids and treble, but it's got a great sound stage, and once the drivers actually burn in a little bit, you don't notice as much of that thinness in the upper mids and treble. It's quite has quite a natural detail to it actually, and the bass is quite good. It's very punchy and quite clean. I found out of all three of these earbuds that I've bought recently that the QKZ MDR stands as probably the most fun out of all three that I bought, and it was also the cheapest. I think they were about maybe between $10 and $15 roughly. They might vary depending on where you're buying them from, but they were pretty cheap. The other earbuds that I have are Sheng Yeon or Wei 1. They were, I think, roughly about $20 or so. Trying to do the math in my head, since I pay in Australian dollars, not American dollars. But I've got an 8-core open heart cable on these, which I ordered the Lunshen Rion on without a cable, because I just had that cable lying around anyway. It's an MMCX cable. The Yeon, it has 14mm drum edge diaphragm with a paper basin, so basically a paper cone driver with a 32 ohm impedance and 98 decibels of sensitivity, which you might think it's a bit harder to drive. It's not that hard to drive. I mean, no harder to drive than the Faaeal Snow Lotus was, and maybe just slightly harder to drive than the QKZ MDR, but they're all relatively easy to drive. You know, off a decent source. You know, I mean, the Faaeal BTR3K, I think, in your standard 3.5 runs about maybe 70-80 milliwatts. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, even that's more than enough to power those. Didn't have any issues. I don't think I even had to crank it past, you know, maybe 1 or 2 clicks above, you know, my normal listening volume. But I did listen to all 3 earbuds with the XP2 balanced in high gain, which actually gives them a little bit more dynamic presence, especially in the bass and in the sound stage, and the vocals are a little more lively with the high gain, which sort of just gives them a bit more richness, and like some of them being just a little harder to drive, it just made it a little easier to push and to get the drivers to open up. But yeah, also the Lunshen came with a pretty nice case as well, and the SuperTFZ Queen, they came with some really nice widebore tips that I also did use when I first got them, but I decided to switch to the modified Venus tips to give it more of a wide bore open soundstage. It didn't really change that much of how they sounded. The stock wide bore tips I just showed were actually pretty good. Like they seal really well too, and you get quite a good bass and treble response out of them. Like everything's very clear. The drivers did take just a little burning in. I only burnt them in while listening for, you know, a couple of hours really. You know, I've only had them the first last couple of days anyway. I don't believe too much in burning, but the Faaeal Snow Lotus, they did improve a bit after the first couple of days, first few hours of listening. I felt that they were a little muddy at first, but after the first couple of hours of letting the drivers play, and just a natural progression of the drivers just becoming more more flexible with continuous play, they actually did become a lot more natural sounding, and the bass actually sounds really nice on those now. Like, I was listening to some Fabric Live drum and bass on those yesterday, and I was really impressed. They sound really nice. But yeah, that's about all I've got to say about them right now. I may do another video. I could talk a little more on technicalities, but I mean, they're not really technical in any way. They're more of a fun sounding listen. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to touch on right now. But yeah, if you are looking for a cheap alternative to like some great sound, some fun sound, I'd definitely recommend the MDR or the SuperTFZ Queen. They are both very fun. And the Sheng Yuan, or Yuan, they have a really lush sounding mid-range, which is great for vocals, but they don't quite have the bass response that the Snow Lotus or the MDR do. They have more kind of a smooth mid-bass. They don't have a lot of sub-bass. It's rolled off, but the mid-range and the treble are very smooth. Like if you like jazz or classical, they'd be an earbud that would play jazz and classical very well. They do vocals very, very smoothly, a lot smoother than the Snow Lotus or the MDR. They do have that nice smoothness that you want in like classical jazz or vocal jazz, and they're definitely becoming one of the sort of more that I listen to them. I'm really enjoying the vocals on them quite a lot. But yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything I set out to say about these at the moment. So if anyone wants to know any more about any of the earbuds or the Queen that I have, let me know in the comments. If you want to know any more that I didn't cover already, and I may do another video. I might do a video on each, just to kind of pick more critical listening on each of them, and just to cover just a little more of the technical sides of each of them. But yeah, for now, that's kind of just my initial impressions of all of them. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back with some more reviews soon. See you later.